Hey everybody, peace out. Peace in. Come on in, welcome. Forgive the mess. I've got a nice, neat table set up. Semi-mess. Total disarray, unorganization. Couple guitars on the wall. Violins, you will see that momentarily. Just for background show. I see they have some people, they say that, they'll put the green screen up and, they want to be like lawyeristic and they have all these fancy books in the background. They don't, it's all fake. Everything is real. So to bring you up to date on what's going on after watching RA visuals and 100 other videos, continuing from the last video where I placed the motherboard. It's supposed to be the bomb. ROG Maximus 11 Hero. Supposed to be, supposed to be the bomb. And when I compared to this board that came in the computer, it's an old computer. It came with a 1060 graphics card, i5 processor, so 600 watt power supply. It's I thought it was super. Well, I learned a lot since then, especially since it's crashed and died. Thanks to Farming Simulator, what happened was it started beginning. Computer worked, and when I plugged the PlayStation controller into the computer, it worked. And I used a hard wire line to the USB port. After playing the game for a while, it stopped working on the one USB port on the thing. It's like, that's weird. The mouse worked, but the controller didn't. And I'd switched it over to the next USB port and it worked. Okay, well, there you go. I didn't even try to go back to that one until it stopped working on both USB ports on the front. So I went to the back and boom, took right off again. I'm playing it. And I think it failed on the third one. I'm not 100% positive, and I had to go to a fourth one and play it. Then, what did I change first? Then I thought, well, maybe it's time to upgrade the graphics card. And I got the 4060, which is supposed to be the sweet gigabyte graphics card. And we'll show you that box. Because it's I'm proud of it. I don't care what they say on the internet about it. It's cons and pros. It's not 16 gigabyte memory. It's only 8. But, when you look at the specs, it doesn't matter. It outperforms the 30 series. So, I like it. Of course, I'm not going to say I don't like it after I bought it. No, that's not true. If something sucks, I'll complain about it till hell freezes over. So that worked, and then I go, okay, let's try the processor because I just want to upgrade it, and it stopped working with the processor. After I did the BIOS update, and I know it was correct because the BIOS update, I saw the update number it was supposed to be because I saw that when I did it wrong, so I know it was updated correctly. Did the BIOS update, put the i9 in, and nothing. So now we got to go back to the drawing board. What happened? So I put the i5 back in, and still nothing. Okay. So now what I did after that, the guy says, everybody says something different. You watch everything. I hope you watch this channel, and maybe this will help people that have a screen that is blank screen, nothing, zero. But like I said, it started with the USB ports. But I never told that to anybody I was called on. It's a Cyber PC, so I called Cyber PC. I never told them about the USB ports. Just said I got nothing on the screen. So, of course, you do the CMOS reset. You got to use the pins or take the battery out. I changed the batteries. I got brand new batteries. That didn't work. I bought new memory cards because I did have one memory that went bad. That didn't work. Okay, so I changed the power supply. i9 card. Not, I go, okay, this is too mismatched for the old board. Time to upgrade the board to the maximum here. I'll go, that's got to be it, right? Because if it's a USB problem, I figure it would burn out. This is where the USB goes in these SATG 6 sockets. There's 6 of them. I had 2. That's where the front plugs in. And I thought for sure that was going to be it. So I plugged the new motherboard in, hit the power button, and nothing. So they got a little power switch on this, and boom, it fired right up. Fans lit up. Fans were all running. Hopefully that's my weed delivery. Fans were all running. The CPU fan was running. Okay. So I got everything running. It should be nothing on the screen as you saw. That's the last video. And that's, well, I'll tell you, sometimes I can take rejection when things get a fault, especially if I know what's going on. I stop, go back, you know, go through the process, diagnose it, and keep going. And this, I was just, oh man, you know, here's another $450. The fourth expensive part. These parts are all expensive. The 750 watt Asus gold 80 plated power supply, that's the gaming one, that was expensive. And when everything it doesn't work, I'm just like so depressed. And you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this and just cut things out and go right to the, you know, process of what I'm doing here. So that's I actually just feel it was probably 9 o'clock. You know, being baked all day. I said, I'm going to bed till tomorrow morning. I got up probably noon the next day. Excuse me. And then, all right, called Cyber Power, and while they really don't like to give third-party support on motherboards, that's for sure. I don't blame them. So that's all right. Asus has a hotline. I didn't know I would get a call from Asus on it. Oh, what up? Yes, hello.
Your driver's outside.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right. Break time. Woohoo! Oh boy. All right, woohoo! First it was the Pony Express, then Western Union, then UPS, then FedEx, then Walmart. Oh my God, Walmart delivery has saved me. Now BudHub. My father would be rolling in his grave knowing I'm getting marijuana delivered by mail right to the door. Let me tell you a story. 17 years old, 16 years old, and Dad caught me smoking weed in the window of the basement with him. And he didn't say nothing, but We seen them up there, and he said one of the windows that just folds out like about 4 inches at the top, 2 feet wide, 2 feet high, 18 inches high, rectangular. It just opens up a little bit with a little hook. There's a rock wall basement, and my brother painted green. Son of a bitch. I can't get into the back. It's sealed. Sealed for your protection. And the old man looks down in there and seeing smoking weed, and I kind of knew I was in trouble, but he didn't really say anything at the time. Until the next morning at 9 o'clock, he's waking me up to take me down to the barber shop. Out of his own, what? I had hair down to here, real hippie, and get down to the barber shop. Get my crew cut. Says, you didn't think I caught you smoking weed, huh? I seen you in the window. Give him a crew cut. We're done with this hippie shit and the fucking smoking pot. And unbelievable. So I can't get into that right now. So after all that, watching, where'd he go? I don't know if you can see his channel on there or not.
To my...
He's got everything laid out on the bench. I go, I didn't know you could do that. He does have his fan hooked up, but according to the other guy, you don't need the fan hooked up to see if this thing is working and running. Okay, so that's where we're at. After, like I said, put the new motherboard in, and I call Asus up on the phone, and he's like, you know, I told him what I've changed out back to. I've changed the CPU back to the i5. Actually, on the new motherboard, no, I did not do that. Because I don't think that's the problem, so I'm not going to change that till I'm sure what I'm doing. But I did change the GPU back out. I did not change the power supply because everything's lit up and it's working. And the cool thing about the Maximus 11 Hero board, they got the LED light system, and they got a digital display with numbers on there. And he goes, what's the read? And I go, nothing. It's 0.0. And the LEDs was totally blank. It should give you like if it was the VGA monitor, it'd be white. If it's the CPU, it'd be another color. I know the white was the VGA, so that's what I was expecting, because that's not what I'm getting the signal. But it did have the red light on the top left, and the glows were glowing green and red and orange on the whatever these covers are. Cool heat sinks, I think they are. And the fans were lit up, so I know everything's getting powered. The board's getting powered. So I go, well, let me see if, you know, and then I told them about the USB switches. That's why I changed the board out. And they got the different type of sockets for the SGA. They're not lined up in a row like here. They're over here in a pair, 2, 4, 6. Same, this power switch here is down here on that board. So, you know, locations aren't going to make a difference on things like that. So now that he's got that out and running, if I feel nothing on this, the one guy is saying this CPU heats up instantly. When he testing his board, there was no heat to that, so he's getting no heat, so he'd go to something else. But once he put a new board down and put everything in place and fired it up, he's like, wow, it's getting hot. And I didn't realize these get as hot as they do, so I got a new case coming. It's like, okay, that's it. They don't make this part from Cyber Power, the power button. I hit the reset on there. 2 USBs went out. Now the power switch is not working. I know it's hooked up correctly. And going to double check that, put everything on the board like this. So that's where we're at. I got, you know, I'll sit here and talk half a mile. I wanted to give you the backstory again on what's going on. So yeah, after I replaced everything, plugged it in, depression sat in for 2 days. It's probably been actually 3 days before I got everything back out here. Okay, so it's like, let's move forward. I did order an Aztec case. That's probably not the correct name of it. And the cases are like this, it's like 60, 70 bucks with the fans. Now they got the new fish tank. It comes around the side, and they're around like $100, $110, $130. They look beautiful. Some are without fans, a little more expensive, so that must be a really super case. But they had one with 6 fans, 7 fans installed for $119. The new style goes all the way to the bottom. It's like, I wonder where the power supply goes. It goes on the back. So it actually looks easier to work with than what I'm doing here. So without further ado, if this didn't have a new motherboard in it, I would toss this case out the window because I really have high hopes. I really have high hopes that everything is going to work. And I bought new HDMI cables. I think I had a bad HDMI cable. I bought new USB cables to the controller because I think it didn't have a good connection and it's freezing up on the screen, and I'm like, I thought it was the game, and I don't know. After I changed the USB out, I think it was a loose connection that was starting the controller. So I've had every issue you could imagine. I'll be right back. We're coming back. We're here. So now, that everybody does things different on here, but I think they're not showing you that the HDMI cable is good or bad or verifying it. So we're going to verify everything. We're going to verify everything. And the power supply has no light, so it's almost hard to even determine if that is on or off. Just to double check my knowledge, O is off. It makes sense with a line this way means it's like a closed circuit is flowing through, and if you unlock it, it hinges up. That means it's a break in the circuit. Unclosed, open, I guess. Open is what they would call that. Don't quote me on that. That I'm not 100% positive, but I think that's what we're talking about. And bear with me. And then if you're wondering why I get no signal on the TV monitor because I'm smoking weed, that could be. So, what we do first, fire up the monitor. We have it in HDMI 1, which is normal. HDMI 2 is audio return. We don't need that on this. With this graphics card, yes. I believe I need the adapter for the HDMI. which I do happen to have right here. I believe that's a display port, which I learned about display port monitors. And if we turn the Blu-ray player on, it looks like that's got the automatic shut off. We should see Jurassic World. Or did I actually turn it off? I mean, let me try remote control. Power on. Oh, I probably just needed to push play. And that's with the brand new HDMI cable that I bought, and that's a fairly long one. That's probably 10 feet, 6 feet at least. So is that part of the issue? If it doesn't get a signal to the monitor from graphics card, I don't know. So I do. Yeah, that's one thing I never did try. Is a really short. So this is Audio Quest Cinnamon. If anybody doesn't know what these are, Audio Quest Cinnamon, look it up on the internet. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So we have a signal. All right. Let's get rid of this. And let's do more of a close-up display on the table. You've already seen the guitars in the background, and trying to impress you with my guitars and my violin collection up there. You got the Rickenbacker acoustics. Heck, we might as well do a complete room tour. Here's Les Paul's The Ocean Blue, Ted Nugent style, Paul Reed Smith. Fun, fun, fun. Cool, let's get swivel it out. I want to see the board more than the monitor, and I can just do this. So this will be very cool. I got high hopes that this is going to work. I mean, we're bypassing everything. Is that new motherboard should have worked. And if this doesn't work, then I've got real big issues. But if this works, then I can pull everything apart with the new motherboard and try that. So first we put in the new battery. Very easy to put in. This memory stick is the one that came with this board. I believe that works. I bought the new memory sticks. Maybe there's a fail there, but the board should have lit up and had a LED light saying memory failure. So none of that's happening, so it probably was not the memory stick. The i5 is back in. That's the one that came with it. That's only been out one time. And hopefully I don't pinch this cable so I lose connection. And we're ready to go. This is plugged in. There's only two plugs. I left that plugged in because it was a little tricky to get the PCI in on this one. I didn't even push it, lock it in place. So there it is. That's good to go, I think. Okay. And let me get my doctor glasses since I'm doctoring. They tried to sell me bifolds. Alright. Now, this is overhanging the board, so we need to lift up the board to install this. And that's off. Unplug it just to be sure. Right? Okay. There it goes. And it's got a latch that locks it in. You can see it's seated really nice, and I triple check that. I could pull it out. Well, I will. I'll show you. See, you can see where you can see it's popped up out, and then it's definitely 100% seated. Something like that could stop you from working. Okay, don't leave the metal under there to cross circuit everything. The other cable we have is to the board. So we have that powered up. We have the board powered up.
Tomorrow in Albany, you'll see clouds with a chance of showers. We can expect a high of 66 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 46 degrees.
That's nice. Yeah, we'll check that to be seated. I guess so. Now we're guessing. It's seated. And I only had the display port because I was trying to hook up 2 monitors. So I don't need this. This is only if I have a fail. So let's plug that in. I'm just going to unplug this. We see that it's working. I'm going to plug it in on the side. And then turn the power on. And nothing. I'm just kidding. There is a power reset switch on here. No, I'm not 100% positive. Children, please do not do this at home. But I've identified that this is the front reset. Doesn't really say power. I thought I looked at this long enough. It could be the 2 on the left, could be the 2 on the right. 2 on the right is reset. I don't think it's the CMOS. So let's try it. Nothing. So I'm jumping something wrong. Gotta learn how to jump start the board. That was plugged in. This is for the speaker, so that's not going to do anything. Unless that's not metallic, I don't know. I think what I'll do is pull out the other board since I know how to do that one. Oh, there's the power switch. It could be over here too. plug messing up here. This is working because there's a light. CPU is ice cold. Alright, we'll be back after I learn how to jump start. If I can get down here, we will see if we can explain what's going on. A long ways down. So we've got the Maximus 11 Hero Wi-Fi ROG, 4 sticks of RAM in there, brand new. The GeForce 4060, 750 watt power supply. I think everything is hooked up correctly. I don't know if this powers the fan or not. We'll find out. This one has a start button, so this one's pretty easy to jump start. I don't know if the other board I tried, I put out everything in, but the switch did not power up. Okay, that was a tough one. So, excuse me for that. Let's fire up the TV, and we switched over to the short cord, the cinnamon. I'm not going to test it, know it works. Well, actually, I don't know it works. If it doesn't work, I'll test it afterwards. That should be the working one. And it should appear HDMI 1, hopefully. Get some juice. We have power. We have power. That's a good sign. And this has always been the spot where I would have an issue. It'd be on starting it up. I have cleared the CMOS again and again and again and again. So without any further ado, at least what I would hope to accomplish would be a couple LED lights, but said it did not jump start, so I must have something that needs to be connected also. Maybe the fans. Fail. Alright. Power button's hooked up this time. The jump start button did not work on the last one. It worked when it was in the box. More things were hooked up. There still is one major fan component not hooked up, so that may not work either. So we'll find out. We cleared the CMOS. Nothing. Okay. Alright. And we're rolling on the last diagnostic thing we got going on here. Alright. DVD player's on just to make sure. Okay, monitor is working. So, let's unplug that. try a different node. I might even try the display port and an adapter. And everything is connected like it would have been in the computer. We have this, we have the fans connected in the case. The only thing that's not connected are the SSD cards, which I don't believe it is required to fire this up on a jump start on the board. So, without further ado, we'll take one hit for victory here. I've got high hopes. I've said that before. If not, I'm hitting return immediately on the motherboard. And I will contact Asus again because they could not identify this motherboard. I will send them one more picture of it. But this appears to be crazy. So this switch should work if the switch is working. But see, there's nothing in here. So something is amiss. But it still should jump start. It did. Woohoo! Okay. So now we'll let it do its thing. I saw a thing on the SSD cards. One guy got it from Amazon and he got another one from, I forget, Temu or something, but it definitely was a different SSD card, 100%. I'm not getting any. The red light's on, not getting any LED displays. I got no American booklet with this. It was Chinese. I got no certificate of authenticity card. All very important things. Here's my certificate of authenticity. Well, reliability for the power supply. At first, you just think, it's a joke, but not really. I mean, well, they could copy this too, so. But no go. So it tells me that the case I bought was probably not necessary, but hey, I don't want to put this brand new card in that old crappy black case anyway, so I'm excited to have a case. I'm not excited for the time I'm going to have to wait to get this card refunded, exchanged. Unless there's something missing, I will take this board down to the shop tomorrow and just to see what they say. But it is what it is. You know. The disappointment, depression is gone. This is what I expect every time now. 0, no lights. Maybe Asus will want it directly so they can give me one from them and they can say, hey, this is yes or no. And then they can move forward and apprehend these people and put them in jail. Alright, after careful consideration, I have decided not to approve this video. Not only did I not know there were two power supplies, so that was a mistake. And the power switch down at the bottom there, a lot of you guys probably know, there's usually individual clips and double clips. and it has a plus minus next to the HD, and the power switch doesn't really matter, but it does matter if you go vertical or horizontal. So I had the clips in vertical, and they're supposed to be horizontal, plus minus. That's another mistake. If I had those two things done, maybe I could have had the board just fire up, but there's more to the story, so stay tuned.